So just when you thought physical media was on its way out, I got to hand it to them. They're starting to figure it out and maybe reverse course a bit. Certainly not something I was expecting to see, but as I was looking into this, it does kind of make sense. And it makes me wonder if we're heading for a bit of a resurgence, a renaissance even for physical media. And I do hope so myself, as someone who enjoys picking up a physical video game, or at times, you know what, here and there, a physical movie. But also thinking back to the old days of going to rental stores and stuff, it's a time period that most now just never knew. This to me is potentially good news for the physical media fans out there as we head into 2026 and beyond. And we're looking at that here today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. So this was an article that I saw pop up, and I wanted to share it online. And it certainly got a lot of interest because of what exactly it's laying out here, that DVDs are the new vinyl records, why Gen Z is embracing physical media. This is from Los Angeles Times. And they had a summary here that we can go through, and I will leave a link to this down below if you want to check it out as well and read more, because they do tell a whole story about local video stores and rental stores, which I don't know any rental stores around me at all. Like, I'd have to really try to look for one that's probably 30 or 40 miles away at this point. Whereas, a few decades ago, they were everywhere. Mom and pop stores, Blockbusters, Hollywood Videos, California Video. They were just everywhere. Not anymore, though. But here's the thing. Gen Z, according to Los Angeles Times, is reviving DVDs and Blu-rays with video rental shops reporting record months and membership numbers as young people embrace physical media. Physical media sales declined just 9% in 2025 compared to drops of over 20% in 2023 and 2024, marking a dramatic shift in a shrinking market. So it's still down, but it's not down double digits. Now, eventually, the market drops so much that you're going to level off at least a bit. Like you're going to closer and closer to zero, so you're not going to keep dropping 20 or 30% or something. But it seems like Gen Z is figuring it out a bit here, okay? And it's something I've wondered about as we head towards incredibly, like a digital era that we've never seen before, not even just with entertainment, but like life, everything, just being more plugged in than ever before. So check this out. Young customers cite frustration with subscription fatigue and content scattered across platforms, viewing physical media ownership as a form of cultural rebellion. Whatever you got to do, whatever reasoning you have to come to for this, because so with the subscription, sure. I mean, it's no secret. If you were subscribed to any of these, it's like a yearly tradition that the price increases, right? It's like I know every single year it feels like Netflix is going to send me an email that's like, hey, the price is going up $1. It's going up $2. Disney Plus, Max. You see Netflix's monthly price history here, and it just climbs throughout. And here's the thing. When it first started, right, they had Netflix Standard, and that was 2011, $8. That felt very much like, oh, it's worth it because it is cheap and it's something that people just forgot about, probably, that they even had. It was impulse buy territory. I mean, it was the price of what a McDonald's value meal or whatever. It's not something that makes a massive dent in the finances for many people at that time who were even looking into this new subscription thing that Netflix was running, especially if you're someone who was already subscribed to them and you were doing the DVD by mail, which my dad was, and it was constant. Movies were coming and going constantly in the mailbox there. Netflix was pretty innovative about that, to where once the person logged it, the mailman logged it as they were taking it from your mailbox, Netflix shipped it out immediately. So there was like a 1 day turnaround time for many of those movies. And again, convenience wins out most times, unless price gets a little too crazy. So Netflix Standard with ads, $8. So they still have that, but you're sitting there watching ads a lot too. They have standard, and then they have premium. So the premium is if you want 4K, Ultra HD and stuff. Otherwise, you can get the lower resolution. So there's these caveats, and I'm sure people who are big into movies and stuff, I mean, they want the best experience they can. $25 a month does become a bit more like, oh, okay, hold on a minute. How much am I using this? And does this subscription service for Netflix have what I need, or do I need another one on top of that, like Disney Plus, which is up to in 2026 with Disney Plus Premium is 18.99. It's like, okay, well, I guess I need that as well. And then you think, well, Hulu has that one series that I really want to watch, and that's $19 in 2016, unless I want to watch ads. And you get what I'm seeing, right? You start to get with bundles, then HBO Max comes into play, and that's $23 for some reason for the premium. Or we the idea of cutting the cord was that you wouldn't deal with all of this madness for cable. That was the whole saying. Cut the cord, get $8 a month on Netflix, and never look back. And now I kind of feel like how people have stacked subscription services, it's the same price or even more as what people were paying for their cable bill that was like bundled with their internet. We've gone completely backwards here. And because of this, people are being more, they're scrutinizing this a lot more as what they get and then also what gets taken away. And then also they're looking into the fine print. So when you see Amazon Prime customers sue because they realize, oh wait, our purchased movies aren't actually ours, then so with digital products, and this is going to be something that will absolutely be coming up as we go forward, and as we see more and more that there are no other options for physical versus digital. Do you actually own those games or those movies when you buy them? And that's what's being explored heavily now with these different class action lawsuits where the plaintiffs claims Amazon misled customers about their rights to digital content purchased through the Amazon Prime Video platform. You just get a license. That's really what it is. And the wording a lot of times is very vague, and it generally comes down to, yes, we can take this away from you if we need to. And if we need to, could be this platform goes under or we have a merger. And that, for example, happened when Sony so what happened was Sony bought Crunchyroll, and then the libraries merged together. And because of that, if you were someone who bought a Blu-ray or DVD, and it would usually come with a digital code as well, you'd add that to your library so you had the digital version as well as the physical media. Because of the merger and not everything was available across the platforms, they say Crunchyroll does not currently support Funimation digital copies, which means that access to previously available digital copies will not be supported. So you just lost them. That was it. Like the digital versions went away. This was something that certainly made headlines and got people going, wait a minute, hold on. Do, do we own these digital copies? Technically, you don't. And while it's kind of being framed here as this fun thing of, oh, it's nostalgia, and it's nostalgia for a time that they didn't live, which is Anemoia. And because of that, they're hipsters. They're going back the retro sense. They want to experience that and pop a DVD into a DVD player or Blu-ray in and kind of go that route. What I think we're really going to see though, because if you look at the U.S. video games, these are a distribution of video game users in the United States as of March 2025 by age group. So this would have been last year. But like, I mean, you can see the obvious thing. 18 to 19, it's a very small range, but like 20 to 29 and 30 to 39, they're going to be coming up through obviously the gaming population here as they get older, but also you expect them to get later in their careers, get more money, and then kind of decide which path they're going to go, digital or physical. And if we're already seeing at least a trend that's kind of breaking away from what we'd expect with the idea being more and more digital on the movie side, I do wonder about the gaming side as well, because all we've really seen are really people going more and more towards digital the whole way, and platform holders are certainly not making things easy in that regard. But because there are so many people who have PS5 discs currently, I do think the PlayStation 6 will at least have some means to have a disc player, which means we'll still at least be in play for PlayStation 6 discs on ultra high def Blu-rays that should hold 100 gigabytes. Microsoft might be out. That might be it on the Xbox front. And Nintendo's still rolling along with cartridges that, yes, maybe game key cards, but at least there's a piece of plastic, which is really what it comes down to there. And while digital games certainly have convenience first and foremost in mind, since you don't have to keep a massive bookshelf of games or pop the disc in whenever you want to play it, or even go across, say, a PlayStation 5 system and maybe potentially a handheld in the future and other things, there is still something to the idea of subscription services being less and less appealing as they get more expensive, as games go in and out of the services. And if we do get to a position where there is that event of a major game that's digital that gets taken out of libraries, we haven't really seen that yet, but these are things that I think about happening in the future and how the market would necessarily respond to it. And as we go along, we've seen that retro gaming has become larger and larger. And I do wonder if part of that is sure the physical nature to it, which it's really cool to still get a PlayStation 2 or a GameCube or an Xbox and pop a disc into it and it just plays off of it. That is also convenience, not having to install it. But the more and more we go down the path currently of just digital, not necessarily just games or movies, but AI and being more and more of a digital presence rather than even seeing people in person anymore, it almost feels like the retro of the future will be something that's just not connected to the internet, not connected to AI or any of these other social media aspects. Because the one thing I will tell you, as I guess falling into millennial, like smack dab in the middle of that age group, the thing that I really remember way back when in the dark ages before high speed internet, and we were dealing with these 56K modems and stuff, it was very quiet. Yeah, that was the biggest thing. It was you, the console, the TV, and really no outside noise or interference that's being run. And it was sort of a lonely experience too in that regard, but it was also just a calmer time and environment. Whereas I'm sure people now are looking at their phones a lot, doom scrolling and stuff while trying to play a game. There's something to that stillness, but hey, there's also something to the mass chaos that you would have when you and a bunch of friends would be hanging out playing couch co-op for maybe a split screen shooter like GoldenEye or Halo 2, going online split screen there, or different fighting games where you take turns going against each other, almost tournament style, or different beat 'em up games. I mean, there were so many experiences back then. Yes, you would have by yourself, almost in isolation, but also a bit more of a community event that we don't see much at all anymore. So if you are somebody who thinks about that environment and like thinks back to, especially if you're someone in Gen Z and you're thinking back to that time period where maybe you didn't experience it, but you kind of want to, I mean, I get it. And I do wonder if that's something that could make a meaningful impact in the decline of physical games as it's sort of doing here, at least enough to have an entire report run and people maybe contemplate that a bit further. This is only good news for physical media, but is it enough to really turn the tide on it? It's hard to say, but I just wanted to go over that because it's good occasionally to get positive news for physical media in a world where usually it's about, all right, how much longer are these Blu-ray discs really going to be around? How much longer are these things going to be shipping with disc drives even attached to them? Here's hoping it's at least another generation so we can see if maybe this turnaround works over in favor of games. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below. Are you someone who has felt the fatigue maybe of subscription services and have considered maybe building a small library of DVDs or Blu-rays, or maybe someone who is heavily into subscription services on gaming, but you've thought about either going back to old retro games or maybe even look to build up a collection of, say, Xbox Series or PlayStation 5 games? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.